Elite Facts presents Most Mysterious Burial Sites.
10.
In Norway, beneath a small rosebush in its courtyard, St. Nicholas Church was the spot of Viking-era bones being found. Upon investigation, it was found that a particular bone in the back of the neck had no fusing. Among Norwegians, this trait was rare, and as of this date, it was only found as a trait in people of Incan descent. These people were in Peru, however. So how did it get to Norway? Vikings were amongst the most well-travelled people that ever lived, and it's possible they stumbled across Peru and brought back natives as slaves for themselves.
9.
In the Macedonian capital Aegia, a tomb was uncovered that has been widely touted as that of warrior King Philip II, better known as Alexander the Great's father. The artifacts found in the tomb put the dates off as being that of Philip, and until recently it was unknown who was buried there. It was then that facial reconstruction technology was used, and it uncovered a wound that was consistent with the one Philip II was known to have had.
8.
The Knights Templar have a rich history of theories, most involving the Priory of Sion, King, Mary Magdalene, and even Jesus himself. So this small French village seems peculiar to be the final resting place of such highly esteemed people. Within Rennes-le-Château, a beautiful and complex castle, it was discovered by Father Francois Saunière that a carving consisting of the Knights Templar emblem sat above a crypt. Within this crypt lay somebody, but as to who, it is still a mystery.
7.
Kuwari Dance, or Long Ago Man Found, was dated between 1670 and 1850 as a point of death. It is thought he died from exposure, possibly falling through a snow patch into a hole in the glacier. Numerous artifacts were found with the body, including a bone knife, a sheath, a spear, wooden walking stick, and a pouch with dried salmon. DNA testing found that 17 members of the 248 tested First Nation members were related to Quade.
6.
Tomb 55 remains a mystery in the Valley of the Kings. The magic bricks bear the name of Akhenaten. The coffin was made for a woman, but altered for a man. The golden death mask was purposely broken. DNA testing shows the mummy is related to Tutankhamun, but the testing also shows that the mummy was a young man in his late teens or early 20s. Who is buried in Tomb 55? And why does it contain such mismatched burial goods from a period when burials were highly ritualized and defined?
5.
Genghis Khan's final burial place was under such high security that the 800 horsemen who trampled his gravesite to keep its location secret were executed, along with 1,000 labourers who aided the burial. There is a tomb at his palace containing his personal effects, but not his remains. The search is now over though, when workers on a riverbed found a large concrete dome underground. When those researching it uncovered it, they found the remains of a man who was DNA tested to match that of Khan.
4.
Stonehenge has been covered in spooky tales and ghostly occurrences ever since it was first discovered. But new radiocarbon testing shows that cremations occurred there from its very early creation nearly 5,000 years ago, which is way before the stones were thought to be erected. This supports the theory it's the site of royal burials in its time. The number of cremations is estimated to be around 250, which does stick to the theory of royalty, and only a select few were granted this access.
3.
King Midas was well known for turning everything he touched into gold, including his own children. Such was his greed. In the late 50s, historians uncovered a large mound which was believed to be the king's burial site. It was dubbed Midas Mound. The pottery found in the mound points to a time frame of the king, but there are rings of dirt that sit 3 deep, meaning it was covered 3 times since its original building.
2,
King Arthur is the most famous of England's kings, both royalty and warrior, who went on adventures to the Crusades at the time he ruled. The tale goes that when Arthur was wounded by Mordred, he was taken across a watery site to the Isle of Avalon, which would be his final resting place. This was the site of Glastonbury Abbey at the time, and at that time the abbey itself was surrounded by water, which makes it fit within the story, as well as the abbey being the only available medical site nearby. Upon excavation, a small stone plaque was found bearing the scripture that Arthur was buried here, as was Guinevere, and upon discovery of a crypt, it did contain 2 bodies, 1 male and 1 female.
1,
Otzi was discovered looking like a burnt man crawling out of a river, except he was just purely preserved and nearly 5,500 years old. He was discovered in 1991 in Canada, and many a debate and hoax has surrounded him since the find. Both tissue and intestinal analysis has been done on the carcass, and other revelations that wounds could point to the cause of his death. His knife tested positive for 4 other strands of blood, as well as his arrows and his clothing. It points towards a possible fight ending his life, but nothing can ever be confirmed. Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more elite facts.